You're welcome to News Insights. Happy weekend, guys.
Yeah, happy weekend, brother.
It's a beautiful morning.
Thank God it's Friday.
Yes, thank God it's Friday. They say the new Friday is Thursday. People are advocating for 3 days weekend. Rather than work from 8 to 5 for between Monday to Friday, you rather work from 8 to 7 and work between Monday to Thursday. Then you have Friday weekend, Saturday weekend, and Sunday weekend.
With the cost of fuel and the bad roads we have, by the time you close by 7, before you get to your house, maybe it's 12.
But you're not going to be working for the next 3 days.
No, but then you work on Monday. Tuesday, you may not be able to resume on time because the roads are bad. The insecurity is there. We're talking of a country where...
Is that right? Well, let's go to Rivers. Let's go to Rivers before you take us through the weekend. Don't worry, you'll be working on Friday. You're on Friday. You're working already for today. So, Wike has released artillery on Ada George. Ada George wasn't very comfortable with what has been happening. And he was a governor in the River State for relatively about 1 year. Wike said he didn't achieve anything. Ada George was governor
for barely 1 year.
No, barely 1 year, and they had the military at the national level. It wasn't like it was a full-fledged democracy. And Wike was governor for 8 years. He said Ada George's achievement was only the introduction of the Bush Boys. Eli?
Well, I don't know how people value or evaluate people's achievements. If you said his only achievement was the introduction of Bush Boys and you said that was used for violence, then you that have the opportunity to be governor for 8 years under a democratic setting that you have freedom should have corrected the mistake of the past governor so that while in office now, we will say, okay, during your tenure and after your tenure, violence and the Godfatherism has been eradicated in your state completely. But we see more violence today and a lack of freedom, of democracy in Rivers that it were under the Ada George as a man under the military. So I don't know what and how Wike is trying to explain this to the people of the state and to Nigerians. Is it that he's trying to say, okay, fine, when you were governor, you introduced violence. I became governor and I brought about peace and understanding. I don't know his argument.
And also, eventually, on leaving, we have state of emergency orchestrated by the past administration. Okay, I noticed one thing. Wike, when he was governor, he was really a kind of personality that was furious about any former governor or former leader being involved in the current affairs. And even now, you could see that the other time Odili tried to make a statement, Wike attacked him. Now, Ada George trying to make a statement, he attacked him. But Wike forget that he's the one that is almost in the mainstream of Fubara's administration. Where is this specialty coming from? And Ada George was a governor those sets of governors were elected by a kind of the electoral process. We are judging the best today. So it wasn't like he was an imposed governor by any means or Godfatherism like Wike claimed he helped Fubara. Why is Wike not able to accept any other known personality making statements in Rivers matter?
It is the way APC do their business. They are not.
Wike is not an APC man. Wike is a PDP man.
The current leadership of this country is APC.
Yes.
So just leave it at that. They are not open to criticism, whether constructive or otherwise. They are not open to it. They are not open to letting people, to hearing the truth people are saying. On this platform, we said, what are the other statements
in
Rivers State keeping quiet?
Yes.
We've seen why.
Yeah.
You speak, you attack.
You are insulted.
An elder statement, shameless at old age. That is extreme.
Yes.
That is extreme. And what I just said, so this current thing that is happening in the liberal state is caused by somebody in Abuja, which is open fact. Instead of tackling issues, you go on rampage, abusing him. He ruled for less than 1 year. He was elected free and fair election. He had no control by the state because it was in military people at the top. Okay, let's assume he brought Bushman, which let's consider
Bush boys.
Let's consider to them. Let's consider to Wike.
Yeah.
Wike, you ruled River State for 8 years. You were a mini god. No opposing voice. He didn't allow Amechi an inch.
No. There was not Amechi.
Okay,
There
but
was not
I'm
Amechi.
like putting this side by side. Wike is somebody who is concentrated on infrastructures, and you can't take it away. And you can't take it away from him. I mean, what is the essence of this governance, if not in the first place, like we have said, having freedom to associate, having freedom to speak, making sure that your dignity as a person is not attacked. Once we are done with all those things that concerns us as a person, the next is these infrastructures that we need to use to operate as human and work within our economy. And Wike, no matter how you look at it, he did very well in those infrastructures.
Can I come in here?
Yeah.
You said side by side. What did Wike do in the first year? He was trying to balance the politics. I thought you stayed in power for 1 year. He's trying to do a miracle. Can you build a bridge in 1 year? Then, Wike has showed us this bridge built in 20 years. It's possible to be built within 1 year, which he has showed us in Abuja. But then, can you do that in 1 year?
Even those
my state governor, Abia State, built the only flyover had there for 8 years. So I tried to root for less than 1 year, and you expect a miracle. It's not possible.
Okay, but in the minds, sometimes when people are comparing things, the ability to lay the timeline side by side is difficult. But that said, do you think it was erroneous for Ada Judge, whom most leaders has been saying, let leaders and the elders in River speak up? Do you think Ada Judge had taken a wrong line by saying, we do not support this kind of
in the first place, the fact that wisdom does not come with age.
Necessarily.
So you won't say because he's old, whatever he says is right. But the question here is this. What he's talking about, is it what the whole world is actually complaining, saying the same thing? The answer is yes. The interference of the federal in the state affairs that have now...
Through the
military. That have now put to standstill still the development of the state against the state people is what the elder statesman is not telling the state to go fight. He is complaining just like the whole world, and we here. We are not from Rivers State. So, I think what Wike and his camp should have done is, if the man is what he's saying is right, they should either take it or keep quiet rather than attacking
or
him.
respond rightly. Which maybe we are going to get more details in discussing that. We learned that Wike met in London with the legislators, and I don't know how they are going to achieve that. That what is still before them is impeachment of Fubara. Details are still emerging, and until we get the full details of that, we can't confirm yet. So, is it all about Fubara or Rivers? At what point to Wike is it for Rivers people or Fubara? Just removal of Fubara, is that what to make Wike to feel fulfilled?
Yeah, politically, yes. He want to make a statement that he controls River. And the only way he can make a loud statement is by removing Fubara.
And putting somebody he think will be loyal
and what if that person becomes another Fubara?
He doesn't care.
He
has
Fubara was...
the person may not become another Fubara, because of course Fubara was Wike's ally. And then everybody know Wike bought his ticket. Wike made him, or God allowed Wike.
God used Wike.
Use Wike to make him the governor. And it's not as if Fubara have gone against the state normal rules and regulations. The fight is that he's no longer completely loyal to Wike, then because he wants to develop the state. So if I am among the camps, because if he's removed, who will be who will be elected will definitely may have to be a Wike's person. And so if Fubara is eventually, for instance, removed, and any of these other guys that they are in London together, is being sponsored by Wike and agreed by the rest of them, and they make him governor if you are the one. With all the beautiful things you enjoy as a governor.
You know, like I've always said, that talk is cheap, and until you get in, you don't see the entire details. If anybody is promising you he'll do this and that when he becomes a governor, he's saying all those as a non-governor. Immediately you become a governor.
You realize
that apart from the powers, by your conscience, serving the people and putting your subjects first becomes more important. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Using Rivers money in quote in this case for river problem, not necessarily for national problem or next election problem or installation of stooge problems or whatever, might become your priorities. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So let me put it to you, Peter, briefly, just be very, 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 very brief. Do you think if there is a way to make this impeachment achievable quickly, that they can truncate the military rule? Because the noise is also getting to their quarters. Yes, the noise is getting to their quarters. Truncate the military rule, get the State House on board, and immediately democratically remove Fubara. Do you see them going that way?
Yeah, because the noise is becoming louder, and government is hard to attend to this noise. I see them going that way. But see, let me be brief. Everybody wants to copy Lagos. Everybody wants to copy what Tinubu did in Lagos, having control. If he wants to copy Lagos, go and ask Tinubu how he did it.
It wasn't an open battle.
You should go and ask Tinubu how he did it.
Tinubu was a little
Every
bit more...
person has failed,
Yes.
and I know that Wike too will fail. Go and ask Tinubu how he did it. It's not by open confrontation.
All right. If you want to control your territory, go and ask Tinubu how he did it. Honorable, if you want to control your territory,
I will go and ask Natasha. Natasha is my throne. Because Mr. Paul is no longer there, so I'll ask Natasha.
it's all right.
Oh, yes.
So this is still this insight. It's either you're asking our dear President Asiwaju how he did it if you want to control your territory, or you are asking Senator Natasha. This is still this insight. We'll be right back.